congratulations on this project. Wow, it's such a fascinating watch. Was there any obstacles that you guys faced in, bringing this to the screen?
Yeah, finding money to make the film, always. I've always subscribed to the independent filmmaker kind of model of you have a budget, you have a rough estimate of what it's going to take to make the film. As soon as you have half of that budget, you start to secure locations and put the
Mhm.
train on the track, as I like to say. This film, we kind of use that model, and then the money and the guardian angels just started falling into our lap, and it became a runaway train. So the obstacles quickly became the allies. And I think it's because, well, I know it's because of what the film stands for and what we're doing with this film, the empowerment of women, speaking back to Hollywood about behavior that's unacceptable, and messages that really good people are going to get behind. You know how children have been treated in Hollywood and female sexual objectification in Hollywood. These are things that are unacceptable, and we have a lot of people right now that believe in our picture, and Rachel can tell you more about any obstacles she had. But I couldn't have made the film if I didn't have an actress like Rachel Bailit to step into this role and absorb it fully and bring it to life, which she did heroically.
You.
Anything you want to add, Rachel?
Obstacles. Wow. Well, commitment,
Mhm.
and wanting to fulfill John's script. But I don't feel it was an obstacle. It felt like really putting on a glove for me, years as an actress in Hollywood and
Mhm.
understanding the climate that we're all living in. It was pretty easy. I wouldn't say too many obstacles. Maybe, filming very quickly. We
Mhm.
filmed in 14 days.
Wow.
So it was a passionate, quick train ride. But no, I mean, it was probably one of my best working experiences I've had in all my years out here.
One of the most fascinating things about this project is that it feels like the story is being told very parallel in two different manners. Um, why make a film with such topics and tell it in, a parallel way in two different ways?
Well, the story for to tell the story right, um, structurally, if you know if you know what Jack has done to Simone or what he's
Mhm.
asked of Simone, if you know that too soon, you won't care about them as a couple.
Mhm.
So you have to reveal that in the third act. In order for it to matter in the third act, you have to care about them for it to break your heart, because we all want that catharsis when we go to the cinema of universal feelings of triumph, of heartbreak, of romance, of genuine fear, revenge, whatever it is. We want that cathartic feeling. We want that. That's what we want. We want something to grab onto emotionally.
Mhm.
And the only way to emotionally care about Jack and Simone is to do it through where they've been and see who they were and then what happens. So it's a non-linear story, which is always
Mhm.
a challenge. I mean, Kurosawa's Rashomon in 1950 set a new standard for storytelling, and it kind of set the cinema world on its ear and put on notice that there's a new way to tell stories. And the Japanese studio at the time, when he delivered Rashomon, tried to bury it. They thought audiences will not understand this. They won't keep up with it. You're going to lose everyone, and they really tried to bury it. And he and his producers persisted, and they were right. Rashomon was a phenomenon. And
Mhm.
Memento is another favorite film of mine, 2000, Christopher Nolan breakthrough film with Guy Pearce. Nonlinear storytelling has always been very appealing to me and seductive to me, because it really does require the audience to track what's happening, to understand when something is being foreshadowed and when it's going to pay off. I've taught my three sons, who are all very much into cinema now, taught them from the very beginning, a good story, a good film will answer all your questions. Just be patient, and there's going to be an answer for everything, but you have to let the storyteller peel back the onion, right? So I don't know if this answers your question, but to tell this story, we have to front load it with the romance and the love, coupled with the obstacle and the conflict,
Mhm.
which is all of the black and white, which is counterintuitive because usually black and white harkens nostalgia or
Mhm.
flashback. In this case, we made that the present, which is also a Christopher Nolan device in Memento. So I'm playing with a lot of different inspirations from Kurosawa to Nolan to Godard to Cassavetes. And I just trust that people who love cinema and love storytelling will track it and go along for the ride. You do risk losing people,
Mhm.
people being confused, scratching the head, and we've gotten plenty of people talking to us in our Q&As that didn't get certain things.
Mhm.
And to that, I say every film deserves to be seen a second time, and the really good ones might need to be seen three times to fully
Mhm.
comprehend. And I think that's not a bad thing.
Definitely. The whole story is very complex. Just in the thematic part of it. Uh, to embody Simone, you know, how much research did you do into the character, and how difficult is it to portray a character that is somewhat, I don't want to say it is like telling of Hollywood, but that is, based on the experiences of women that have gone through stuff like this in Hollywood.
Good question. I did watch the documentaries of child stars. I did watch Selena Gomez, Britney Spears, Quiet on the Set. I did watch those. I thought Selena Gomez was outstanding. Even Lady Gaga, even though her subject matter is different, it's still the struggle. Um, I would say that combined with my own experiences, and there's been some unpleasant ones, nothing to
Hmm.
the extent of what happens in this film, but anything is a personal violation.
Hmm.
You don't want it. And when you learn that this is the currency of Hollywood, or appears to be, people present it like this is the way it's done.
Hmm.
I remember having dinner with a producer and him saying, "Oh, trying to solicit me and saying, "Oh, so it was like a business deal. So you don't do this."
Hmm.
It's that open on the table. So I have seen and experienced a little bit too much, but nothing to that extreme. But it was magnifying my own understanding and then taking in other people's stories.
Hmm. For both of you, what is it like to sit in a theater and watch this on a big screen with an audience?
It's triumphant. It's every filmmaker's dream and goal and objective is to have your film on the big screen. And I think we all still it's a generality, but I think people still do like getting together with strangers in the dark and watching a shared experience. I think that still is very much desirable. I think we go to enough cinema. We go to art houses and watch old films, and we go to the Cineplex and watch the current releases. And we're seeing mostly full movie theaters and enthusiastic audiences. And so I think the death of Hollywood cinema on the big screen is greatly exaggerated.
Mhm.
It's a thrill. It's a real thrill. We were just up in San Francisco for a week, and we played on a big screen for a premiere with 200 people, and then we played in a much smaller screen in the Presidio. And some nights our audience was 10.
Mhm.
But to sit with eight other people in the theater and then to talk to them directly after the film was Jesus was really really so rewarding. And it might not have been available to us had there been 50 people there. It might have been a little
Mhm.
bit jostling for position and maybe shorter questions and shorter answers.
Mhm.
But with only a handful of people, we really got into dialogue about what spoke to them, maybe what confused them, what concerned them, what touched them, all of the above. It's really fun. Watching films, I don't know if you've seen the David Lynch rant. If you
Mhm.
haven't seen the David Lynch rant about people that think they're watching a film when they've watched it on their telephone, check it out because the late great David Lynch goes off on people thinking that they've actually watched a film when all they did was watch it on their telephone. He
Cell
says,
phone.
yeah, you know, yeah, your telephone, exactly.
I'm like,
Well, it still is a telephone, technically,
yes,
right?
technically.
Yeah. When you've only watched it on your cell phone, it's you're fooling yourself if you think you've seen that film. And I think the same could almost be true of watching a film on an airplane. You really haven't seen the film. You might have got an understanding maybe of it, but you really, if it was a good film, you probably should see it again on a larger screen. Anyway,
Mhm. Definitely. How do you feel, Rachel?
telephone.
It's cute.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, what? Did you
Uh,
ask?
how do you feel when you see yourself on a
Well,
big
for
screen?
me, yeah, I like tracking the
Hmm.
gasps, the sighs, where people might find some humor. For me, experiencing it through my senses is very rewarding. I mean, hope that people I hope that people are feeling aghast.
Hmm.
Then I've done my job at what's happening here. And that they also can find there is humor in the
Hmm.
movie. Um, and so that's very satisfying for me.
But but make no mistake, she does whisper to me occasionally, "I can't believe you shot me from that angle."
No, I do not. I do
Yeah,
not.
you call that lighting?
No, I just say pass the popcorn.
Yeah. And the
Awesome.
M&Ms.
Well, congratulations on this. I think it's a fantastic watch, and best of luck out there at the Indie Las Vegas Film Festival.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching it. Enjoyed your questions
Have a
and
great
have a
weekend.
great weekend.
You too.